Naruto is undoubtedly one of the biggest animes of all time, and is due to its storytelling, longevity, and sharing some of the best anime fights ever. Especially in the Chunin exams, where we're introduced with some interesting characters with some abilities we've never seen before. And with that, their influential backstories and strong motivations, they all quickly became fan favorites as we all saw their potential rise as the main series went on. However, once Shippuden started, most of these characters were pushed to the side for more plot convenience and screen time for characters like Naruto, Sasuke, and some dead Hokages who died way before the series even started. Yeah, the biggest examples of these characters were none other than the students of Team Guy, who probably had the highest expectations out of everybody during that arc. And even though their potential was wasted in Shippuden, from the very beginning, their potential was meant to be wasted. Rock Lee, Neji Hyuga, and Tenten. Two characters that had massive potential, and one character that gets no fucking screen time. And this one holds a special place in my heart, because these are three of my favorite characters in Naruto. Like, Kishimoto, how the fuck... why did you... I don't understand how this is the only team that hasn't surpassed their sensei in any way. Like all three of them. I don't understand. Like, no disrespect to Guy, because I know Guy is a G, but in the Chunin exams, this is one of the new teams to look out for alongside the Sand siblings. And I would say, like, in the beginning of Shippuden is where their like downfall started, but I swear, while I was rewatching it, like, I just knew that all this shit was meant to go down like this. And I know y'all gonna be like, no shit, it's gonna be the same for every character that's a side character in Naruto, but looking back, like, Shikamaru, and that's an obvious one. We all know Shikamaru was gonna be like one of the top dogs. Hinata became a top dog as well. If even Choji was slap boxing the ghetto statue. Speaking of ghetto statues, Ino controlled it for 10 seconds. She was the strongest shinobi for 10 seconds. What the Let's go over these guys. Alright, let me just get over the 10-10 part like every other normal Naruto episode does. and it sucks that I'm even saying like this, because she's literally my favorite female in the whole show. But she just gets no respect whatsoever. And every time she does get some type of screen time, it's either she's getting her ass whipped or it's filler. And Exhibit A. This is part 1 Naruto. I don't want to relive this moment again, so I'm just gonna, leave this right here. And it sucks, because at face value, like, when you, like, read, like, what type of character she is, she's actually very interesting. Like, the only weapon specialist and the only Fuinjutsu master in the whole show, which is the art of summoning a wide variety of things. But that doesn't not matter in Naruto anymore. Like, we know this, nigga. Come on. We went from throwing kunais to throwing earth-shattering bombs a while ago. Like, get with the fucking program. And to add on to that, she's already being overshadowed by the other two that I'm going to go over later. Like, she only had, like, 2 or 3 canon fights, from what I remember. She had that one with Tamari, which I don't even... She had this one against Kakuzu's mask during the war, which she actually won. And she almost lost to a mid-fucking clone to herself. Like, what? They are us! So, they're gonna know what we're getting. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Come on, man. I love you, but, like, it's the whole team, too. It was what even freaking Guy got, his ass beat by his own clone almost. Like, that's unacceptable. And it sucks, because I love that arc. I love that arc. Probably one of my favorite arcs in Shippuden, but that whole series of fights right there, I wasn't gonna let that slide. And Tenten does have some kind of, even though it's not over the top, she has an intriguing backstory with her inspiration with Tsunade. She can't do medical ninjutsu, so she finds her own way of being a ninja. and she stays focused on that. So they could have just used that like if maybe a tiny bit, just like have that one conversation with Tsunade, and maybe her confidence could boost, and with confidence comes screen time. Whoo, let's go. But no, Tsunade got to train freaking what's her name, Sakura, and a little bit of Ino. And of course, Hinata doesn't have to do anything because Hinata got her own freaking clan mansion or whatever. So like, come on, dog. And I'm not gonna let this slide either. How come in the filler y'all was making Tenten cool as fuck? Like, bro, she summoned a freaking ocean. She summoned an ocean, a whole ocean, the Pacific, Atlantic, whatever. She summoned a whole body of water, and then y'all want to make her freaking. She could do that, but she can't freaking summon the caskets for all the reanimated characters during the war. Like, how you gonna make her do that in the filler, but not make her do this in canon? You know how useful she should have been. You know what? Man. I'm talking about a character gets nothing in the whole series, so I'm just gonna get. If you guys have known me for a while, you guys know that Neji is one of my favorite anime characters of all time, and even if you just look at the banner, you guys would have an idea of it regardless. And I gotta admit, he definitely did have it better than the other two. Like, when we look at his resume in the first part, he was able to make it to the finals in the Chunin exams, while the other two couldn't. Even though he lost to Naruto, who he was kind of meant to lose. But still, we still gotta give him credit for that. And he also did defeat the most intelligent and probably the strongest Sound 4 member during the Chasing Sasuke arc. So, yeah. And that 3-year time lapse between the end of Naruto and the start of Naruto Shippuden, he was the only character in the Konoha 11 to even make Jonin. And that's huge, because Shikamaru didn't even reach Jonin at that point. And his whole existence was basically to help out the Hyuga clan, and it also helped out Hinata's character arc as it introduced the main and side branches of the Hyuga clan. And I really liked how it went in depth with all that shit. But then again, Shippuden started. And again, he almost lost to a mere clone of himself. This is the last time I'm going to mention it. Because it you know. It also later seemed like Hinata was going to be the more important Hyuga in the show. Like, it's not that she was only getting stronger, she was also trying to suck Naruto's dick at the same time. So, like, she was meant to, like, get that raise in screen time and plot status. And I'm not going to throw shade at Hinata whatsoever. I mean, she was one of the ones that had faith in Naruto the most. So, I gotta respect her. We all gotta respect her. She was trying to get that shit from the beginning. I got nothing but respect for Hinata. Loyalty. But I ain't gonna let it slide if you gonna let Neji die. Like, what the It's not that he died, okay? And again, it brought us all into shock because we didn't think anybody from the Konoha 11 or 13 or whatever the fuck you guys want to call it, that anybody from that little group was going to die. And especially being Neji. And especially the way that he died. Like, we would be able to take it if Neji died. I gotta admit that. It's not that that's the problem. The problem is that the way that he died was a way that could have been avoidable as fuck. I'm gonna list out some ways you can, like, not do that, you know? Like, he had gentle fist air palm, 8 trigrams rotation, and tell Hinata to do that shit herself. Like, come on, dog. Hinata could have been able to stop it and not T-pose in front of Naruto to show superiority. And either way, Kiba still exists, you know? You could have killed off Kiba, too. Last time I checked, didn't that nigga lose to a fucking fart? Kiba was Hinata's teammate, so it could have affected her in the same way. Kind of. Right? As much as I want from my favorite 2 characters, I can't deny that Lee got robbed the most out of the 3. I could have done a whole video on Lee alone. It would probably still be like however long this video was gonna be. It could probably be the same length. by just talking about this one character. Because he was honestly the character that had the highest expectations from the viewers. Even, and I can't really say potential because that really did belong to Neji, no bias. But the image that Lee depicted as a hardworking shinobi who could only use taijutsu, it honestly proved to us that he wasn't as much of a joke as we all thought he would be in the beginning, because he looks like a fucking fish. And his narrative was pushed the most out of the three as well. So that just, it just made us think that Kishimoto had more plans for him in the future. But after watching Naruto again, I realized that Rock Lee might be the Russell Westbrook of the of anime. Like, this nigga Kishimoto tricked us all, bro. And it shouldn't come as a surprise that he is really the main reason why we have this hard work versus talent dilemma that we put on the series. Like, we used to put it on Naruto, but when you think about it, Naruto just has natural talent. Like, the shit that his genetics, damn it. Like, he has a whole fox inside of him. So, like, literally, Lee's presence literally debunks that message, especially in Shippuden as he gets his ass washed. And even in, like, the original Naruto, like, in his first fight against Sasuke, even though it's a spar and Lee technically won, after that, Sasuke's gonna go ahead and take his fucking move, Primary Lotus, and call it Lion's Barrage. What, nigga, you have a fucking Lightning Dragon and a move that's called 1,000 Birds. Where the fuck did you get Lion from? And I would say that, like, Naruto took the same move, but at least Naruto actually mixed it up a little bit and actually brought some shadow clones in to make it look unique. And I actually fuck with that creativity from Naruto, but Sasuke just be stealing shit. He can go fuck himself. But yeah, first they're gonna steal one of his moves. Then they're gonna go ahead and do that Lee and Sakura versus Team Dosu fight out of nowhere. And Lee is just out there to help Sakura's character arc? Are you serious? I did a video on Sakura. I will admit, I do like Sakura a bit, but not this Sakura. Come on, dog. Wait, what? I know Sasuke came in to break Zaku's arm later, but... And I can't deny, Lee actually had a good showing, and if it wasn't for interference from Zaku, Lee would have freaking dominated Dosu. But come on, he was just there to help Team 7 out. Are you fucking serious? And of course, the famous Rock Lee versus Gaara fight. Like, and this is one of my favorite anime fights ever. And even though Lee lost, the viewers saw, like, a lot of potential from him for the future. But that fight was his peak, and he lost at his peak, even though, like, most fans want to say that he won because, you know, Gaara was on his last legs, and I'm all for that, but it's in the records, man. Lee lost that fight. And I feel like the fact that he went all out was one of the reasons why he had no way of getting better, if you get what I mean. Because when you think about it, in that fight, he went up to 5 gates as a 13-year-old. And you might think, like, he has 3 more gates left. Like, what the fuck? Like he should be able to get to 6 and 7 and then 8 in the future, right? But as we all know, later on, if you get to the 8th gate, then you almost die. Well, you do die, but guy got lucky. So literally, he had 2 more gates to go to. If he would have stopped at, like, the 4th gate, maybe he could have had some more character development. But I feel like the 5th gate might have been way too high of a gate to pull off this early in the series. And even though he almost beat Kimaru while he was drunk, we all wish he got... I honestly wish that he got that shit back. They brought it back this one time during a filler arc, and it's honestly one of the best filler arcs ever. But now that I'm going off topic, even though he almost beat Kimaru alone while being drunk, 1, he needed help from Gaara, and 2, if it wasn't for Kimaru's sickness, they would have lost. They survived that. I think Gaara even said it at the end of the fight, like we didn't win, we just survived that fight. So if we're being real, Lee has been nothing. Well, in part 1, he's been nothing but a gatekeeper for the villains. And I know it hurts, but we gotta face the fact that even though Rock Lee has great showings in all of his battles, he has lost or just merely survived every single one of them. And of course, I don't want to bring up the clone thing in Shippuden again. I think you guys get it by now. But I feel like in Shippuden, even though he got mad filler and his own show, I do get that. I feel like in the Fourth Great Ninja War is where Lee should have shined the most. And I know Guy versus Madara was like one of the best fights in Naruto history. I feel like if Lee joined in on that fight, as much as I don't like 2-on-1s, I feel like Lee needed to be a participant in that fight. They could have done something like Lee wasn't able to reach 8 gates yet, but then Guy was. You know, it to give some emotion, especially after Neji's death. And it sucks that I'm leaving Tenten out of this shit again, but it's the only way that I can actually explain this. If they would have just had Guy do 8 gates and Lee do the 7th gate, like, because Lee wasn't able to reach the 8th gates yet, because I don't think he like lost anything. Or he was trying to protect someone, but it wasn't as much as he does with Guy. I feel like they could have done that battle to push Lee a little more and make Madara stronger, because he's taking on 2 strong Leaf Ninja. Lee is about to get hit with one of Madara's orbs or some shit. Guy moves in the way. He gets in the way. Guy dies. And even though we all don't want Guy to die, I feel like Naruto didn't benefit much from not having as much deaths as they should have. So I feel like they should have killed off Guy at that point in time. And in that time, they could have done it for Lee. And while he, you know, mourns the death of Guy, he reaches 8 gates, goes ham on Madara. There's the same shit that Guy was doing with Madara, but instead it's Lee. And then Naruto would revive Lee and try to revive Guy, but it would be too late. I actually did something like this. I forgot where I did this. But I did a story like this before, but yeah, I'm not going to reminisce over it. It's just, in short, that's why I feel like should have happened for him. But, like, just thinking about it, like, I just pushed Lee more than Kishimoto could have ever done. And it was that easy. Like, just replace Guy with Lee. Like, have them together at first, but then replace everything else with Lee. It was that easy. Like, just think. It's the potential. It's the push we've all been waiting for Lee. And you just didn't execute on it. Like, what the fuck? You're like, come on, man. In conclusion, we all know that Naruto has changed over time, and with change, you have to let some things go. And sadly, a whole bunch of interesting characters in part 1 were the sacrifice for bringing in new characters, which is usually how it goes. But I feel like the way that Team Guy was treated was just the worst out of them all. Just Lee not getting the push that he deserved when it was just so easy to do. Tenten just not getting enough screen time, and Neji just dying. Yeah, I'm still hurt about that. And it didn't only show in Shippuden. We even saw it in part 1, at least for Lee and Tenten, that it was kind of meant to be. But hey, what can we do? Naruto's already over, so we can't really do anything about it. All we can do is make fanfics and, you know, just dream. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys like these types of videos, go hit the subscribe button. Like, share it with your friends so I can be popular again. And see ya. Deuces.